I'm struggling to think that you're taking this any more seriously than as something that might generate clicks on YouTube, Piers.
Wow, you
Because
don't think that's serious?
hold on, Piers, I can't even get a sentence out.
What, you don't think it's serious?
Hold on a second.
We're about to have a look at a debate between Piers Morgan and David Pakman. I expect David Pakman to put forth a good faith effort in learning the other person's intentions and trying to come to an understanding, which, if you know David Pakman, that's something that he always says when he tries to get into a debate with somebody on his own channel. And then he proceeds to not have a good faith effort from his perspective. So it's pretty funny to me. I like to say that just to make fun of him. But before we get into that part, I want to let Brandon Tatum get us started off. So let's go ahead and check it out.
Brandon, I do think this is right. I think the problem for Kamala Harris is she got parachuted in to this gig, coronated, in a weird way, where I thought it would have helped the Democrats a lot more if they'd had a proper brokered convention where other people threw their hat in the ring and they juked it out. It would have toughened her up, perhaps, for the battle against Trump. What do you think about that? You think they should have allowed others to maybe get involved in a race against her to replace Biden?
Yeah, Pierce, 100%. First of all, she shouldn't have been an affirmative action hire the first time. They should have gotten a qualified Black woman that was very successful, very intelligent, that can add value to the presidency when Joe Biden chose his running mate. They didn't. They just picked a Black woman. And I think they picked the wrong one. And then you go down the list and say, okay, now that Joe Biden dropped out in the 11th hour, they just put her in there. She's incredibly unpopular. She's incredibly unintelligent. This woman is a terrible candidate. She laughs and she cannot articulate a clear sentence about her policy positions. And then she gets on the campaign trail and runs on, I'm a woman. I'm going to do this for Black people. Ma'am, you have never done anything for Black people, and you're not a clear representation of a good quality woman. And we can go over her history, but I'll save that for another time. But these people are patronizing young Black men. Obama comes out and says, well, y'all are against women. That's why you don't want to. No, we're not stupid anymore. We're sick of these people promising things that they're never going to deliver on. And Kamala Harris, at the 11th hour, is now rolling out Lizzo. Big Lizzo got on a private jet cussing and swearing, and her lyrics are degenerate. You got Eminem is degenerate. You have all of these celebrities. Those are not the average everyday person. These celebrities are not worrying about what they're going to eat in healthcare. They're extremely wealthy, and they're not connecting with the people. And that's why Donald Trump is kicking her butt. And if it wasn't for lies and deception and coercion by the media and all of that, Donald Trump will be winning by 20 points right now.
Right, but the truth is he's not, and it is very, very close. If we bring you out David here. David, the thing is, I want to play a clip from MSNBC. Obviously, you hate Trump with a pathological violence. But they went out and spoke to people in the street, and this happened.
Trump talks about this a lot. He says, Kamala Harris became Black when it was convenient.
Right. Yeah.
Can you talk to me about, do you agree with him on that? Do you feel like she's wearing her Blackness?
Absolutely. She's sworn into when she sworn to the Senate, it was as the first Indian American.
Thank you.
Which is, it's fine. We don't care.
We all know she's not Black. Let's understand that. We are all clear of that. But my point of view is, like I told you earlier, she's already been there. She's in office right now.
I mean, David, that's pretty devastating when you hear that for Kamala Harris, isn't it? They all think she's a bit of a phony who's basically using them as a community.
Those two people did say that, but if you look at any public opinion survey, this is not ranking anywhere. And there still seems to be confusion about the concept of being biracial. But no, I don't think that's really devastating at all. And in fact, I think that, I don't know what interviews Brandon's been watching, but she just did an interview yesterday with NBC where she was almost goaded by the interviewer. Why aren't you talking about being a woman and being Black? And she said, people can tell what my identity is. I'm running on policy, and then people can judge the identity however they want. She's stepped away from identity politics, which I think is fantastic, by the way.
David, let me ask you this.
Politics as a cudgel.
David, let me ask you this. One of the things she stands for, along with Joe Biden, is she has done nothing while they've been in office to stem this, in my view, horrendously unfair situation of trans athletes competing in women's sport. And an astonishing survey has just come out today by the United Nations that reveals that female athletes have lost 900 medals to transgender rivals competing against them in women's sporting categories. This is a UN report. That's 600 female athletes in more than 400 competitions have lost nearly 900 medals in 29 different sports. When the average American sees that both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris now support this unfairness, and that's what it is. It's just unfair. It's nothing to do with being transphobic or anything else. It's just unfair. And when it's supported by a report like that from the UN, that's one of her problems too, is that people think they're supporting the indefensible. They lack basic common sense. What do you say to that?
I'm struggling to think that you're taking this any more seriously than as something that might generate clicks on YouTube, Piers.
Wow, you
Because
don't think that's
UN
serious?
Hold on, Piers, I can't even get a sentence out.
What, you don't think it's serious?
Hold on a second. The vast majority of those instances in the UN report are outside the United States and have nothing to do with the president or vice president of the United States at its face. And secondly, I would challenge you to tell me the quotes that Biden or Harris have put forward wherein they have weighed in on how sports leagues should be handling these decisions. But 92% of that study is not even in the U.S. So I don't even know why you're bringing this up.
What's that got to do with the principle of the principle?
And you got to love David Pakman's good faith effort attempt to understand the situation. He can never just answer the question. He always has to counter it with some weird, like obscure on the edge question about what has Biden or Kamala ever said about it. It's like, no, bro. It's, do you think biological men and boys should be in women's and girls' sports? Doesn't matter if it's within the United States or not. It's how you feel, what your principal belief is.
I'm sorry?
What's that got to do with the principle?
Well, the principle is you're saying Kamala Harris and Biden have come out in support of this.
They do. They support policies which actively protect. They support policies that protect transgender athletes performing in women's sport. And I think that is madness. You're saying, well, because most of these things in this UN report were outside of America, it doesn't matter. It does matter.
What I'm saying, it's a completely contrived issue that almost no one cares about in every single opinion poll.
Wow. You see, I think that's incredibly deluded. People do care about it. They care about the integrity of women's sport.
It just doesn't show up in any opinion poll as a primary issue. Not top 10, not top 20.
Out of interest, do you think...
They care about it, but it doesn't show up in a single poll.
What's your view? Do you think it's fair?
I think that it depends on the sport, and I think we need to talk about this for probably 90 minutes to really have a productive conversation.
Really? So when you saw the Paris Olympics and you saw 2 gold medal winners in women's boxing who actually were born with biological male chromosomes, you think that's right?
That is not the truth as far as I understand it.
Really?
I don't know who you're talking about. If you can name them, then maybe we can get into more detail.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. It was well publicized.
Well, tell me. Tell me who you're talking about.
I can't remember their exact names. There were 2 gold medal winners. Well, I can find them now if it helps you. I don't know why the names matter.
The one who was the source of a lot of viral articles was born a woman, always lived as a woman, and always competed as a woman. I'm sorry?
What was her name?
Imani something.
All right, so you don't know either. So don't be quite so patronizing if you don't know either. But the truth is...
Well, you're bringing it up, Piers. See, here's the thing. Hold on a second, Piers. Hold on a second. You do this all the time, Piers. You bring something up. And then you evaluate your guest's opinion as to how much it matters. You brought it up. If it doesn't actually matter, don't bring it up.
No, just to be clear, you were haranguing me for not remembering the name. I said the name's irrelevant. What's relevant is whether the gold medal winners have biological male chromosomes when they're getting into a boxing ring
is they do not.
and punching women in the face so hard that one of the women competitors, a female, quit after 45 seconds.
Yes,
because she'd never been hit that hard.
There is nothing to the story that the boxer that prevailed was ever a man.
Wow.
Just nothing.
And yet you know
nothing.
that they...
There's no evidence of it. It was a viral right-wing story based on nothing.
Hang on, you know that boxer was banned from the World Championships precisely because there is evidence. You know that, right?
Yes. Do you know the details of that, Piers? Do you know? Tell the full story. Go ahead. Tell the full story.
That boxer was banned, along with the other one, from the World Championships because it has been reported that they tested positive for male chromosomes, right? If you know better, tell me.
That's not the full... I do know better, and I will tell you. that was done by a Russian lab who had an interest in disqualifying her because it jeopardized the undefeated record of a Russian boxer. It's just, that's all they have, and it's totally debunked. Piers, I thought you were better than this.
It's not debunked, and you'll regret saying that because it's true. Let me go to.
So you see there how David Pakman is such a weasel. He won't answer the question. He's more interested in defending the boxer, the biological male boxer, basically, whether he thinks biological males should be allowed in women's sports. He said it depends on the sport. No, it doesn't. See, that's the slippery slope that allows things to get as crazy as they have today that we began in the 90s, right? And so, no, you can't give them an inch, because the old phrase, you give somebody an inch, they take a mile. That's exactly what the slippery slope leads to every single time. So no, it's just plain across the board, biological males shouldn't be allowed in women's sports, girls' sports, anything, right? There's too much on the line. There's too much effort. And you want to talk about the mental health of young people and things like that. How do you think a little girl feels after putting her full effort in, knowing that she's the best girl or one of the top girls at that particular sport that she's playing, and the adults are allowing biological boys to come in and take the championship from her and steal away the glory that she deserves for being a champion, or, you know, just being one of the best in the sport, or just the fairness of winning, the fairness of competition? That would do a lot more damage to a young person's mental health, in my opinion, than a lot of these other things that the Democrats will use as an excuse for protecting young people's mental health, like transitioning them. You know, it's a bullcrap excuse that they hide behind. They have no principles. And to me, it's pretty obvious which side is the evil side. So with that, let me know who you think won in the comments. I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.